Hey, it's Darius and it's Black Friday time. So take advantage of the best savings of the year while they last. There's never been a better time to go to i75cpareview.com. Whether you want CPA review, EA, or CMA, get yourself on I-75 with me, Darius Clark, because the right teacher makes all the difference. No coupon code needed. Go to i75cpareview.com right now while the Black Friday special lasts. And if you want CPA review, click Get It Now. And then you can choose between the full course bundle, all parts, for 36 months. If you only need 2 core parts, then click where it says Get Started and choose one of our CPA review 2-part Black Friday specials. If you're looking for the enrolled agent Black Friday specials, use the top menu bar. Same for CMA. So whether it's CPA review, EA, or CMA, get yourself on I-75 with me, Darius Clark, because the right teacher makes all the difference. Is there a difference between a partner's tax basis and a partner's at-risk basis? And if there is, when does that difference become relevant? Well, when there's a partnership loss, how much loss can a partner deduct? That's when we would look at the partner's at-risk basis, and that would include the partner's share of recourse debt. So for partnership losses, how much to deduct, that's when at-risk basis is important, and we look at recourse debt. But when there's a distribution to a partner, and the question on the exam asks how much of that distribution is taxable, then we want to know the tax basis of the partner. And the partner's tax basis includes both recourse and non-recourse debt. So now we know the difference. Tax basis includes both recourse and non-recourse debt. At-risk basis includes recourse debt, but doesn't include non-recourse debt. Let's try this. In year 25, the ABCD partnership was formed by Andrea, Blake, Charlie, and Daniel. Andrea, an active partner, contributed $50,000 in exchange for a 1/4 interest in the partnership. What do they want to know? Well, the question's asking how much of the loss is deductible by Andrea. And so far, all we know is that Andrea contributed $50,000 and got a 1/4 interest. Now it's going to say ABCD had $40,000 in recourse debt, and 1/4 of that belongs to Andrea, and $20,000 in non-recourse debt, and 1/4 of that belongs to Andrea at the end of the year. And the partnership incurred a loss of $300,000 in year 25. How much of the loss is deductible by Andrea? Okay, if you want to know how much of the loss she can deduct, only include the recourse debt. So the answer is B, $60,000 of the loss is deductible by Andrea. Based on the at-risk rules and not including the non-recourse debt, her at-risk basis in the partnership is $60,000. Her $50,000 initial contribution plus her $10,000 share of the recourse debt. Her share of the partnership loss is actually a lot more than that, 1/4 of $300,000 or $75,000, but she can only deduct the loss up to the extent of her at-risk basis. Therefore, she can deduct $60,000 of the loss for year 25. The other $15,000 carries forward. And the term recourse, as you can probably imagine, means that the creditor can go right after Andrea. The creditor has recourse to go after the partner, not just the partnership. So recourse debt will allow you to deduct more of a loss, whereas non-recourse debt, we'll see what that's good for, but it's not helpful when it comes to deducting losses. Let's try this. Nico is a partner in a partnership. What do they want to know? How much loss is deductible by Nico? So he initially contributed $100,000 to the partnership. Over time, his share of the partnership's recourse debt increased to $50,000, and his share of non-recourse debt reached $30,000. And the partnership suffered a loss. And Nico's share is $160,000. How much of this loss is deductible by Nico? And the answer is $150,000. Answer choice C. And how did we get that? Well, it's his original $100,000 contribution plus his share of the recourse debt, $50,000. That equals $150,000 that he has at risk. His at-risk basis is $150,000, and that's the limit for what he can deduct, even though his share of the loss is $160,000. So he gets to deduct $150,000 this year and carries forward the other $10,000. All right, same facts, but this time instead of a loss, the partnership is going to give a distribution to Nico. And they're going to ask how much of the distribution is taxable. So Nico's a partner in a partnership, initially contributed $100,000. Over time, his share of the partnership's recourse debt increased to $50,000, and his share of non-recourse debt reached $30,000. The partnership distributes $160,000 in cash to Nico. How much of that is taxable? And the answer is A, 0. Because to determine the taxable portion of the cash distribution, we compare the distribution with Nico's tax basis, not his at-risk basis. His tax basis includes his initial capital contribution plus his share of the partnership liabilities, both recourse and non-recourse. So now we add the $30,000 of non-recourse debt. Of course, we add the recourse debt and the initial contribution. So we're up to $180,000. That's his total tax basis before the distribution. So the cash distribution of $160,000 is not in excess of the $180,000 tax basis. So the answer is A, 0. The cash distribution is not in excess of the tax basis. Letter A is correct. So make a note, if the exam asks how much of a cash distribution is taxable, then you include the recourse debt and the non-recourse debt. But if the exam asks how much of a loss is deductible, then you only include the recourse debt, not the non-recourse debt. All right, in year 31, the LM&N partnership was formed by Lara, Miguel, and Nancy. Miguel, an active partner, contributed $60,000 in exchange for a 1/3 interest. LMN had $150,000 in recourse debt, $60,000 in non-recourse debt at the end of year 31. The partnership experienced a loss of $510,000 in year 31, and they want to know how much of the loss is deductible by Miguel. And if you think you know, leave me the answer in the comments or community section. And if you're struggling with the CPA exam or the EA exam, and you found this video helpful and want to see the rest of it and more videos like it, get yourself on I-75 with me, Darius Clark. I'll leave a link in the description. I-75 is the only material that you'll need to pass the REG exam. So whether it's CPA, EA, or CMA, go to i75cpareview.com and get yourself on I-75 with me, Darius Clark, because the right teacher makes all the difference. Hey, it's Darius. Scores are out, and congratulations to those who passed the CPA exam, and thanks for noticing the I-75 difference. So if you didn't pass, don't get mad. Get yourself on I-75 with me, Darius Clark, because the right teacher makes all the difference.